Hi. Some of you may be shocked by this video, but I believe that I should do what I believe in and feel in my heart, because if I didn't do that, I would serve no good purpose to you, anyways. I want to first say that I believe all drugs should be decriminalized. But I want to say before that America and most Americans believe that we are the greatest country in the world, that we do no wrong, and that all other countries should follow our examples because we're just that great. Our chests are poofed out and our ego is super inflated. But I want to say that idea is bullshit and we don't have it right. And I'll tell you why we don't have it right, because we're having this horrible drug epidemic here in America and it's only growing worse. I think that we should follow Portugal's example. See, in the 1990s, Portugal was facing a drug epidemic much like ours. 1% of their country was addicted to heroin, and their HIV and AIDS rates were just growing out of control. And they were doing what we were doing. See, they viewed addiction as a crime, just like we do, right? So they tried to arrest all of their citizens out of their addiction. So anybody caught with drugs, they'd arrest them, throw them in prison. Well, over time, they realized this is not working. This is not changing anything. It's not helping. It's only getting worse. So in 2001, Portugal decriminalized all drugs. They did not legalize them. They decriminalized them. And if someone got caught with a small amount of drugs for personal use, I'm not talking about the dealers. They got caught with a smaller amount of drugs, right? They had mandatory rehabilitation and treatment and maybe a small fine. They did not throw people in jail because, you see, Portugal changed their views on addiction. Instead of viewing it as a crime, they viewed it as a health disorder, an issue, and a disease. And the second thing they did was they doubled the funding on drug prevention, right? And the third thing they did, my most favorite, they did a lot of things, okay, but the third thing was they created job programs and they created housing programs for recovering addicts. You see, Portugal understood that you can't just detox an addict and send them to rehab and expect everything to be better after that, that there has to be a life after it, right? Like the rest of us have. There has to be a job, a house, and a car. So they provided that. They took all the money they were spending on locking people up and they put it into programs and treatments that actually worked. And in turn, Portugal's addiction rates were cut in half. 50%. That's staggering. That's huge. You see, I believe America is clinically insane. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. See, here in America, we view addiction as a crime. The opposite of addiction is connection, but yet here in America, we isolate addicts. We tell them it's a choice. You chose to do the drugs. You're a piece of shit. Go live with the other scum of the earth because you're not welcome here. We are going to arrest you because you're a criminal and it's not a disease. But that's not working. See, heroin use has doubled here in the past 5 years, and we spend $50 billion on the war on drugs per year at a 90% failure rate. I'll give you an example of isolation and addiction, right? They took this little rat and they put him in a cage and they isolated him and they gave him heroin water and normal water. And he almost always went to the heroin water and overdosed and died. So they said, wow, there's a correlation between isolation and addiction. So what they did is they created this huge rat kingdom cage. They put all these toys and all these other little rat friends in there with the rats. And they put the heroin water and the normal water, and almost never did the little rats go drink the heroin water and overdose. You want to know why? Because they were integrated into little rat society. They were connected. They were not isolated. But here in America, we can't learn from the past. We can't learn from our mistakes, much like the prohibition, where when we outlawed alcohol, everyone went and drank more and crime rates went through the roof. No. See, we do the same thing. We criminalize addicts. We arrest them instead of giving them treatment. And then we wonder why when they get arrested and go to jail and they come back out and do drugs, we wonder why. Because it's the way we don't view addiction as a disease. We don't view it as a health disorder. We view it as a crime. What if the way we look at addiction is the reason why there is this epidemic in the first place? We're not treating it properly. We're not handling it properly. We're facing addicts with stigma and judgment. And you know what happens when you do that? Addicts gravitate towards the addicted community that loves them and accepts them and makes them feel normal and safe, because the rest of society doesn't. Our society does not promote recovery. We promote isolation. Send them away. Get them out of here. Go treat them. Put them in jail. Go, just get them out of here. Throw them away. They're the outcasts. We're not going to change our society to cater to recovering addicts. We're just going to try to get rid of them, sweep them under the rug. Well, guess what? That's not working. I believe in the decriminalization of drugs with programs that actually work, with all the money that we take and arrest addicts with, and we take that and we put it into programs that work, and treatment that works, and prevention, education that works. That's why I believe in decriminalization. You see, if full grown adults want to use drugs, they're going to use drugs whether or not they're illegal. And it just proves itself, because that's why there's addiction in the first place. People still do the drugs. I think we should follow Portugal's example. I think that our war on drugs is bullshit, and it's actually a war on drug addicts. So if you're one of the people that gets upset that, we want we want the society to place money into recovery and recovery treatment, well, you should be upset that we spend $50 billion a year on this war on drugs that's not working, that's completely failing. So get mad over that. You should want your money to be put into treatment that actually works, because when there's less addicts, there's going to be less money going into recovery and treatment. So I'll end this video. I know it was long. I normally do like 3 to 4 minute videos, but this is what I believe. And there's a lot to learn from Portugal's example. And I think we need a radical change here in America before everyone becomes addicted and everyone dies of a drug overdose. Have a good day, you guys. If you agree, please share this video. Hopefully you don't hate me.